So, the Edel, little review I thought we'd do. I've had this in the bag for a couple of years now, and they have brought out newer models. But I do love this club. It's very expensive, and there's a lot of things going on with it. So let's find out some more. Head cover, it's full leather. Instead of the sort of Velcro stuff that you see quite a lot of at the moment, it's magnetised. Now, I think it's a good head cover. However, I have lost one of these. So this is a replacement one that I had to buy off eBay, yeah. So although I think it's good, it can't be that good. It's not as good as Velcro.
Wouldn't be like you to lose something.
Yeah, true. And then with this particular model, it's the E3. You can see the honeycomb finish on the top there. What I would say about this club is it's not the MOI can't be great on it because you have to hit centre, otherwise you're quite punished. I think personally.
It's quite a small insert, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it's quite funky looking, and yeah, it's a funky looking putter. Now I know they've brought out maybe slightly better looking ones, but this is a good start to review anyway.
Is there a weight of?
So
what does it say? Like
that's 21 grams.
21 gram weight, right? Okay.
So Edel say there's 22 million different combinations that you can have to design the perfect putter for you, which is mad, right?
Head shapes, line-up lines, weights.
Yeah, everything.
Lie angle,
everything
loft.
is customizable. They obviously have a selection of heads, which you well. Before we even talk about that, what they'll do is they'll get you. The experience I had was you go somewhere. They'll take your putter out and they'll put a little like mirror on the front there.
Yep.
And then they'll have a mirror at the back where you're putting. And what it will do is it will actually show you
the laser.
The laser will show you where you are. If you're too high, too low, right, left. So it gives you an idea of where you should be and what they'll fit you in.
Yep.
So as I've said many a time, I'm a massive fan of mallets. But when I had my old, that was when I changed them Spider actually. And he said, no, this is what you need because this is where you're aiming. We need to work this out. So we went through all that. They do a lot about sort of distance control as well, which we'll talk about as well. There's plenty of things they do. It lasts about an hour, so it's quite a long thing.
Like as far as putter fittings go, I don't know if many others that are such in depth. Really, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, it was everything. What I found really impressive was the different weight distributions you could do. So they had, weights down here, weights up here, different variations of weights here. And I just said I want the weight, like the heaviest at the bottom that I can get. So there's no weights here and the heaviest.
It's quite a heavy weight at the bottom.
Yeah, so I love that kind of feel. So it's very, very customizable. Now, price point, they're not cheap. That's one thing I will say.
I think, looking on the website, it's $450.
So it's gone up. So this cost me £375 plus then the shipping costs and VAT on it.
Yeah.
So you're talking the guts of £450 to £500, which is a lot of money for a putter. But then, as I said before, you use this all the time. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say from having played golf with you, certainly you putt quite well.
Yeah.
And particularly from short range, I would say.
Yeah.
You're quite a good hole rider.
Okay. That's good to know.
So, I mean, does that come down to the aim side of things, or
Yeah, I think it's for me, it's
the
the confidence. I know this is built to my specifications as best I can get it.
Yeah.
There's a triad of things that they try and look at, which was
aim, speed, and path.
So the path side of things, what they'll do is generally you'll have a different path, a different weight of heads and different styles of heads. So when I did a little test before, actually, the mallet I tend to push, and then a lighter head I was tending to pull. Yeah. So they'll basically match you different styles of heads to achieve the decent path that you're looking for.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
So should I have a little part?
Yeah, go for it.
So as I said, yeah, it's very, it's not forgiving. That's for sure. I don't really miss with it, to be honest with you, but it's. I learned the hard way. I tell you this for a fact. I had this for about 2 months, and I was so ready to just sell it.
To get rid?
Oh yeah, because I struggled so much with it. There's no. The MOI in it must be awful. But that being said, for me, I learned how to putt better. Does that make sense? Because it was so hard to actually produce a good strike.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of golfers, if the putter doesn't perform, it's very quick to get binned, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Whereas I don't feel it's the putter necessarily. If the putter's been fit, if you
Yeah.
spent £400
Yeah.
on a fitting and
Yeah.
a putter, and then you don't putt well, do you know what else is there?
That was exactly my thought. So I still had the Spider in my bag, and I had this, and I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use this as my practice putter, just to get like a better putting stroke.
Yeah.
Because you can, guarantee you can see quite a big difference when you hit it toe side or hillside to centre.
Yeah.
But then I thought, actually, no, I've spent like 500 quid on this now.
So if we talk a little bit more in detail, so if we start with the aim side, okay. Now, yes, we said at the start there, you've got laser.
Yeah.
So what different things change the aim?
So they can de-loft and loft it depending on if the dot's high or low of the target.
Yeah. And then lie angle for left and right.
Yeah, and lie angle for left and right.
Good.
So that can all change. And then there's the different shaft options as well. So I know you're massively into a centre shafted putter, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So all that things come into play. And then he just made me hit loads and loads of different putts. He took the whole away and then started work on the.
What amazed me was the difference. So if we look at the line-up lines on your putter. So
this is mad. Yeah,
two lines there.
Yeah, but nothing on top.
And nothing on top, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of people that have gone through fittings and say they just change those two line-up lines to one.
Yeah.
And the aim just changes drastically.
Yeah.
Or like I know somebody that has no line-up lines and just a dot on the top.
Yeah.
And they putt better that way. So, I've never really thought about that actually as far as line-up lines.
That's all completely customizable. There was, 30 or 40 different options for that. Completely naked, two lines, one line at the top, two lines at the bottom.
You would think a guide of any sort is enough, but it's actually not. It changes how you aim.
Yeah, massively. When you took the PXG, the line was very vivid and straight on the middle.
Yeah.
That may not suit people. Every pro on tour have different. Well, they may have the same, but the majority have different types of lines. How they prefer, how their eye sort of perceives it better.
So once you're happy, you've picked the head shape.
Yep.
You've picked the shaft entry under the head. And
Yeah.
you've picked your line-up lines.
Then it's the weight distribution.
So again, I was with a customer whenever they got fit. Also, it wasn't with you, but with somebody else.
Yeah.
And what they did is they take you to the putting green, and they actually get a sense of how good you are as far as judging pace.
Yeah.
And then what they're able to do is they're actually able to change weight. And what they actually do is they suspend weight in the shaft at different points.
Yeah.
So that's low down, midway, up high.
Yeah.
To see what improves your overall sense of pace. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, you've got your 4 or 5 foot putts, which are important, but also judging that distance is also very important, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. I think the experience sold it for me. I think because it was so in depth, I came out of that thinking, they know what they're doing. Yeah. They pretty much tested everything that I could think of.
There was no stone unturned. Yeah.
No, and then when he sort of put it in, when he ordered it, all the different numbers that he sort of recorded came in, and it was 10, 15 different numbers. Yeah. So you're thinking this thing is completely spec to me.
It's complete,
which I love. So I actually ordered that on the spot. As soon as I finished, I was like, yeah, let's go for it. Even though I don't like the look of it, I think it's horrendous looking.
I don't either.
It's fitted. I like the way how it sits. Like I love that it's so flush, sitting on the ground there. So that
it's down to shaft entry and lie angle, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. So it's just it sits really nicely there. Yeah. £500 all in to get this sent over from Texas. It takes about a month. So it's quite a long process.
Yeah.
It may take about the same time now. I don't know if they've sort of tightened that up in the last few years. But it's that, it is a lot of money, but to me, I would rather spend £500 on a putter than I would a driver. There's so, I've had this putter 3 years. I change my driver every year, pretty much, Mm-hmm. Tiger Woods has had his putter for God knows how long. Yeah. So I think, for that investment, albeit quite big, for you to have that putter in your bag for 10, 15 years, it's nothing. You're talking £30 a year. So actually, in my head, it's justifiable. Yeah. What do you think? How do you feel about it? I know you've had your putter.
That putter. My story is a bit different. My story was I've used the same putter since I was in school. Mm-hmm. Not fit for me. It's just I just lifted it and hit putts with it, and I've used it ever since. But certainly most people would be happy to spend £500 on a driver
Yeah.
and ignore the putter. That's just the way the industry is.
Yeah.
You know, it's not sexy to talk about putters, is it?
No. Unless it's Scotty Cameron.
Not even when you're talking about it.
Yeah, I try. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I know Northern Ireland have one guy who fits, Andrew Norby, I believe his name is, and he fits Edel over here. And then there'll be a fitter in various different countries.
Yeah. What I'll do is I'm not sure if he does it anymore, but I'll find out.
Yeah.
And I'll put it in the description just in case anybody's interested.
Yeah.
Along with the website, and you can have a look. But certainly the most in-depth putter fitting company that I know.
Alpha by far. Yeah.
And certainly something to look into as far as if you want to improve your putting.
Absolutely.